Hello friends, welcome back to the Craft Castle. I have a fun project for us to work on and it's gonna be so stinking easy. We're gonna be working with DTV, which is also known as direct to vinyl. I don't know the logistics of it and the science behind it, but it's kind of like direct to film or DTF, but it's like heat transfer vinyl. Don't quote me on that. I'm sure Siser might be mad if I'm like misquoting any of that stuff, but what this stuff is like a printable heat transfer vinyl that is amazing. So in a previous video, I showed you a little sneak peek of this shirt right here that I made. Isn't that so stinking cute? Now this is on a polyester blend t-shirt and the logo is just like a little bit too small. So I asked Siser if they would send me like some bigger stuff. We'll get into that in a second. But the coolest part about this is, yes, this one right here is a polyester blend, but like I personally love cotton t-shirts. I mean, I'm in a cotton t-shirt right now, right? Okay, so recently my family and I went to the Post Malone concert. My daughter wanted a merch shirt beforehand. You know, she couldn't wait in line. She wanted something new. And I said, don't worry, I got this stuff. And I made this. This is a 100% cotton t-shirt that she got. She just got a blank black one from Target. It's one of those like cropped black ones, not for moms. Not for me at least. But anyways, so she got the blank black shirt. It's 100% cotton at Target. Brought it home and said, can you put something on there? So I made this Post Malone merch t-shirt, and it really isn't a merch t-shirt because I made it, but you get the picture. Anyway, so these two album covers right here, this is actually made from DTV vinyl, and then everything else that's white is made with HTV. I'm just gonna keep it real simple for us today, and we're just gonna do something with only the DTV stuff. Now, I can tell you two things that I know that is amazing about this stuff. One is that you don't need a special printer. If you have an inkjet printer, this will work. So you're not gonna need a DTF printer, a sublimation printer, any type of special printer. You can just use your regular inkjet printer. For both of these right here, I just use my normal inkjet printer. Now, when you do have an inkjet printer, they come in multiple different sizes, but one of the sheets is 8.4 by 11 inches, so just shy, skinnier than a standard letter sheet. The reason why I asked Siser to send me something larger, two reasons. One of which is I have a 24-inch printer, which is great because I also have a Siser Romeo that is a 24-inch cutter. And I'm like that girl that wants to do bigger and better, right? The other thing too is this right here is a standard 8.4 by 11 sheet. So this sheet right here printed this. And this is a large. If I hold this up, maybe this is my only opinion. I don't know, you have to tell me, but does this logo look too small? So my husband says it looks fine, no one's really gonna care, but this is an adult large Gildan t-shirt, and I just feel like this is too small. Like I think it needs to be a couple inches wider and bigger, and you're kind of stuck with something that you can go no bigger than this. Do you see how like this is the same size, right? So I asked Siser to send me this. I'm just gonna put this in my 24-inch printer. My 24-inch printer, I'll link it in the description of this video, but it is just a standard inkjet printer. There's no like special inks or anything else like that, which is something that I love. So for today, I have shown you two ways to use the DTV. We can layer it on top of HTV, or we can just do a standard print then cut. Because A, I wanna make this easy, and B, I wanna show you the print then cut feature for the Romeo. If you've never heard of the Siser's cutting machines, I'm gonna show you and knock your socks off with their print then cut feature. This right here is all print then cut. And there's no bleeding, there's no excess, there's no issues. I've never calibrated the machine. Never. Just took it out of the box and it worked. And I mean, if you know any other machines like, you know, the Cricut, calibration sometimes is a pain in the butt. Okay, so I'm kind of stuck. I'm jazzed. So for today, we're gonna make this real easy. I'm gonna go to Creative Fabrica and I'm just gonna show you just some random design that I'm going to use. Then I'm gonna upload it into the Leonardo program. I'm gonna show you how to prep your artwork over there. Then we're gonna print it, then we're gonna cut it, then we're gonna apply it onto a sweatshirt because I have a XL sweatshirt that I've been wanting to customize. So we're gonna do that. So from start to finish, we're gonna have something completed, and I'm gonna tell you, you are gonna be blown away by the print and cut feature. If you have not watched my previous video with all the random things that it can print and cut, you are going to be blown away today by the end of it, because it's going to look absolutely amazing. Oh, also, I'm not gonna use a cutting mat. Yeah. All right, so let me go load this stuff up into my printer, and then we'll get to the design program and we'll start making a sweatshirt. So this is my 24-inch printer. I love it. It can print a whole bunch of different materials, but this is me just ejecting the material, and then I'm getting ready to load up my DTV vinyl roll. Okay, so when you load in your material, the DTV material, there's going to be like two pieces to this. Not really pieces, but you know, like with HTV, how they have like one side and another side. Same thing with this DTV stuff. So on one side, you're going to have this like thin copy paper feeling stuff, and then it's kind of like a grayish color. But anyways, the other side will have this like plastic material. You want to load your printer with it printing on the white copy paper stuff. So the settings that you use for this, on my particular printer, I actually have to choose the paper settings on the printer manually, but like my standard inkjet Canon printer, I have to do that on the computer. Besides the point, you are going to want to print this on plain copy paper setting. Okay, so now that the printer has taken my material, I am just looking for the length that I am going to use, and then we're going to head back over to the computer where we're going to set this all up. Okay, so the very first thing I'm going to do is go to Creative Fabrica. I love this website because it's A, super cheap, but B, there are hundreds, if not thousands of, I mean, look at this. It says unlimited graphics. There's 7 million. It is crazy to me that I can spend $4.99 a month and have access to all of this stuff. And I don't use this website all the time. However, for a project that is just customizing a t-shirt for myself, why go through all the trouble creating my own graphic when I can just find something that I like on Creative Fabrica? So this graphic right here, I absolutely love. I just love the colors. It's almost Halloween. I mean, I love fall, y'all. Okay, so this is how easy it is to get this file. I have the membership. All I'm going to do is press download. It's going to come here into my downloads folder. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the Siser Leonardo Studio program. This is something that I've been working on with cutting fabric. Yes, the Siser Romeo cuts fabric. I have been cutting leather and suede and felt. It's amazing. That's going to be a tutorial for later. Okay, so this is already open. I'm just going to come up here and press this plus sign, and now I have a new window of Siser Leonardo. Okay, I'm going to find my download folder, and I'm just going to drag it to my desktop. Okay, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to do Command I, and I'm going to find my file and just open it. And it's seriously this easy, y'all. Okay, so I've decided that what I want to do for this is, here's my sweatshirt. I want to put something on like the corner, but then I also want to do like something big on the back of my shirt to fill it all in. So for one, I am going to do this little hand right here, and I'm going to press open. This is going to pop up, and I want to keep it as a print then cut item. I'm going to press next. Now, everything that has that checkered board is what is going to be cut out. So if this particular design doesn't have any type of background in that, so I don't have to worry about removing the background. So I'm just going to keep it the way it is and press next. Okay, so if you're looking at this design, you can see that there is this like blue line around everything. That blue line is going to be what cuts out. So I'm going to have this tight around the entire image. Then I'm going to press next. Okay, I want to include the holes. If you don't include the holes, what will happen is you won't get like cutouts through here, and I want to make sure and cut it all out. So I'm going to include my holes, and I'm just going to press finish. So here is my first cut file. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to Command I, and now I'm going to find my back piece. The back piece that I think I'm going to use. Okay, and actually I changed my mind. I don't want that. I was looking at the clip art and I'm like, wait a minute, I want to do something else. So I'm going to Command I, and I want this one right here that has the petals. So then I'm going to press open, doing the same steps I did before. I'm gonna keep it a print then cut object. I think this one's like so much cuter and has less going on. So then I'm just gonna press next. Okay, all my holes are gonna cut out perfect. So I'm just gonna press next again and then press finish. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna Command I and I'm gonna do the back piece, which is going to be these skeletons right here, and I'm gonna press open. Okay, I'm gonna keep it a print then cut. Okay, so for this one, I actually don't want this writing have a spooky day. I only want the dancing skeletons on my back. So I'm gonna come down here to drawing tools and I'm gonna do the remove. I'm gonna go over here into rectangle and I'm just going to remove all the things that I don't want. So I don't want any of this writing. So I'm just gonna remove it. Looks good. Now let's press next. Okay, so you can see that on my cut file, do you see how there's nothing right here? There's no like blue line, but then everywhere else there is a blue line. That's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted it to look like. Then I'm just gonna press next, press finish. Okay, when I loaded this in here, you can see that, let me just drag these flowers out. You can see that when I loaded it in here, my design where I wanted that have spooky still stayed. Why? I have no idea. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click that. I'm gonna right click, I'm gonna do pass and then ungroup pass. Now that's Halloween, happy spooky day, whatever that saying was, now that's gone. So now I'm gonna select everything and I'm just gonna right click and press group, keeping it all together. Okay, so for this material, I'm going to come over here and I'm gonna keep it as a material size. I'm gonna come down here to a paper size and I'm gonna come over here to the printer. I'm gonna choose my printer and then I'm also gonna come down here to paper size and I'm going to custom make that paper. So the paper width is 20 inches and let's just do 25 inches on the height and then I'm gonna press okay. You can do it any size if you wanted to. I'm just gonna do 25. And then I'm gonna press okay. So this rectangle right here is going to be what I want to print. So I wanna fill in everything that's right here with artwork. Okay, now it's time to resize. So for the very front, I wanted about 4.5 inches wide. So this loaded up as 4 inches wide. Let's go down here and I'm gonna change this over, ooh, like 4 by 6. Okay. So for this one right here, I think I want to make it smaller. So I'm just going to do like 3 inches wide. That makes it about 4 inches long. And I feel like that's a good size for the front chest portion. For this one, we're going to go to the back. Okay, and then for the back, I'm going to do 16 inches wide. I feel like that's a good size. I don't know. It might be a little bit too big, but you know what? It will be okay. I think it'll be fine. There we go. Okay, so I'm just gonna drag this down. When you set up things in the Leonardo, you want it to be in the bottom left corner. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna select this and I'm gonna drag it down to the bottom. See how when I drag it to the bottom, this right here, this registration mark is red. You're gonna want to move this around until your registration mark is not red. So all of these two are perfect. And then there's one that's up here. It's just because I haven't moved this one. Now what I'm gonna do is by selecting this, I'm just gonna drag this down and I'm gonna just save some room, hopefully. There we go. I'm gonna put it real close to each other. And because I have room at the very top and I am not necessarily sure if this is going to be too big, I am just gonna copy and paste. It will look like nothing happened. I'm just gonna drag this up. I'm gonna make this one smaller, just in case. I don't want to accidentally make something way too big. We'll have options. Okay, so if you notice that like when I move this around, do you see how these stay with the 3 objects? If you wanted to use the entire sheet, you can come up here into page marks and then they go into the corners perfectly. Now I can move this around. So it's no longer going to move with my objects. It's just gonna stay with the page. Okay, so I'm gonna take this because I have more room elsewhere. I'm just gonna fill up the page with just more things. Okay, so let's go over here into Send Design. This is going to pop up. We wanna make sure and we wanna include all the artwork that fits on the page, and we're just gonna use the current page location. We're gonna press Send. So then when it comes over here, you're going to get one sheet. You're gonna have 2 different mats. One of which is you're gonna need to send this to the printer. The second one is going to be all your cutting contours. So if we click over into that second page, Do you see all these blue lines? That's gonna be what is gonna cut the DTV. So the very first thing we wanna do is go up into here. Now I have my printer selected. I have my page size selected. This is what we're going to need. A 19, almost a 20 inch by almost a 25 inch, which is perfect. So then I'm just gonna press send to printer. This is going to pop up right here. I've already picked my material on my printer. And then for me in my printer, I don't know if this is like a glitch for Leonardo or if this is just something that's with my printer. I am just gonna go to File and Open in Preview. I was noticing that I was getting rescaling issues. So this is me trying to avoid that. So here it is. I've opened it up in Preview. Now I'm just gonna Command B, which is print. This right here, same steps. However, in the paper size, I'm gonna select the 20 by 25. I'm gonna go down here to paper handling and I'm gonna scale to fit the paper size at 20 by 25. And then I'm gonna press print. So now my printer is gonna start printing on my 24-inch printer. Okay, so now that we wait for the printer to get done printing, let's go over to the machine and set up the machine and get that ready for our print then cut. All we need to do is turn on our machine. Okay, so when you're working with the Siser Romeo, all of your cut settings are adjusted over here. So I'm gonna go into cut settings and I'm going to change my cut settings over for the DTV. It is 10 speed and 10 force. So I'm gonna go down to 10 speed and then I'm gonna do 10 force, okay? Okay, here is my print. The one thing I did forget to tell you about the DTV is you do not need to mirror this stuff. So we are printing on top of it and all the stuff that you're gonna iron onto your shirt is on the back of this, the glue is. So you do not need to mirror. This right here is huge, this skeleton. Okay, so for the machine, there's gonna be this like little lever part. You just push this down and I'm just gonna push it from the back front all the way to the back. Okay, I'm gonna line up my edge to here. You will notice that I am not all the way to the far left of my machine. That's because I don't need to do that. I can put this wherever I want. The other thing too is you wanna keep in mind is these black things right here, they are what grip your material. So we can move over a black thing so we can grip our material. So this one needs to go right here. If it's not on that black, it kind of feels like sandpaper. If it's not on that black, then it won't grip anything, but we just want to make sure that our material is getting gripped really well. Okay, when I have my black things placed where I need it to place, I'm going to pull up my lever. Then what I'm going to do is I need to align my head up to this corner right here. So on my touchpad, I'm just going to put my head, you can see my head starting to come in. My head's going to come in. I'm gonna push my material back. You will notice I did not put a mat in here because I don't need to use a mat. I'm gonna put my blade right above my little triangle that's right here. Going back over into the design, the only thing that you have to do is go from the printed artwork down to the cutting contours. You could go ahead and do a force test if you wanted to. Since I kind of trust the settings that I've used previously, I'm just gonna press send to cutter and then press yes. Now, when we're over here at the machine is now reading all of the registration marks. So going over here, how to fix that is, do you see that like red arrow? I'm just gonna hover it over to the corner and then press OK. It's gonna want to make me to do it again. So I'm gonna press it like that and just put it in the corner, somewhat near it, and then press OK. Now it read it and it's gonna continue going on. So when it's done reading all the registration marks, it just goes to start cutting. And we might be here for a while because I do have a lot on there, but it is now cutting. Hear how quiet this machine is? It is so quiet. The one thing I love about the Siser Romeo is that, do you see this line right here? This is telling you like how much longer you have left in the cut. So by the time it gets to the full circle, that means that your cut is completely finished. The Siser is about halfway done, so I'm just going to turn on my heat press and I'm going to do 310 for 15 seconds. It's really cool that even my heat press remembered my last cut settings. I mean, that's really convenient.
So now my heat press is heating up. This light right here is going to blink red. That means that it's heating up. When it's done, it will be green. And because I'm super impatient, do you see that machine? It's still cutting, and I'm over here trying to weed it as it cuts. But do you see that? It's weeding, and there's like no bleed anywhere. It is cutting perfectly. This is me, impatient, but weeding as it cuts.
Okay, now that that's done cutting, you can see that I went ahead and did a whole lot of weeding because I'm really impatient. It is like one of my character flaws. But all you want to do is continue weeding this. Just to give you a size reference on how big this is versus like what you would have if you had an 8, like a standard letter size. This right here is supposed to be my full cutout. You'd probably need 2, 3 full sheets of this stuff, and I just used 1 sheet, or at least, you know, the cut of the roll. The thing that I did notice is like this particular print had, it says love you or for you right here, and although it did cut, the smaller ones, it didn't cut very well. Okay, so this is going to be my decal for the back of my sweatshirt. I'm just going to cut it out from the rest of it. I don't know if I necessarily need any of the rest, so I'm just going to cut out this. Let's see how this is going to look on the back of my sweatshirt. Is this one going to be too big for my sweatshirt? So I have this like oatmeal heather looking sweatshirt. I'm going to put this on top of this. Oh no, look at how cute that is. That is going to fill up the back of my sweatshirt just perfectly. Look at the small little bit of that jack-o'-lantern. And there's like no bleeding on that. I'm just impressed. So impressed with this. The thing that you are going to need is some like transfer tape, which this is like stuff that you would use for heat transfer vinyl. It's that same stuff that's on heat transfer vinyl. Or because this is like one full thing, I'm just going to peel it off. I don't have heat transfer, like that tacky stuff that is big enough for this transfer. I only have those 8.5 by 4 sheets. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on here. I'm just going to lay it on here like this. Okay, then I'm just going to take a little bit of heat resistant tape, and I'm just going to tack it onto my sweatshirt. Okay, so I have my skeletons arranged how I think I like it. So I'm just going to put it on like this, tacking it down with some heat resistant tape. Okay, so now I'm just going to take all these leaves and stuff, do the same thing that we did with the skeletons. Just going to put them on different places. Okay, when I have all that done and placed, I'm just going to do more heat resistant tape and just push on the placement of where I put everything. Want to make sure it doesn't move as we go over to the heat press. Okie dokie, looks good. Let's take this over to the heat press. Because this image is so large, I'm going to have to press this in multiple steps. So I'm just taking my silicone mat, and you want to make sure that all of your print is like pushed down. Looking through the silicone mat, you can see that like nothing is curling up. That's what you're going to want. If there's anything that's curling up, you need to lift this up and readjust. I've pushed it in, and now we can just press it. Okay, then we're going to open it up. Take this off really nicely because we still have other stuff that we have yet to press. You can see that this right here looks really good and everything is pressed correctly. Okay, so this is going to be my second press. Everything looks like it's supposed to. Nothing's curling up. So then I'm just going to push it in and press the start button. Okay, pulling this out. We're going to check to see how this is going. Do it really nice. Oh yeah, it looks really good. Okay, when you have everything pressed, you just want to go in and obviously peel off all of this tape. Then when you're done doing the tape, you want to repress this again just to make sure that everything is stuck on there good and you don't have any issues when you launder this. So here is the finished back of the sweatshirt. I am absolutely in love with this thing. Look at how freaking cute this is. Did you think that it was going to turn out this way after I just did all of that pressing on there and putting that heat transfer tape on there? Did you think it was going to turn out this cute? Be honest, be honest. Okay, so now let's work on the front portion of this. So here is the front of it. Now remember, I made like multiple different sizes, so I just want to choose the one that's going to be like the best size for this project. That one's like way too small. What do you think? I think that one's still pretty small. Okay, so thank goodness I cut more of 3 different sizes. So let's see what we got with this big old one that's right here. What about this one? I think this one is a good size. Do you like this one? I like this size. We're gonna go with the big one. Okay, and for this one, since it is a smaller piece that will fit on here, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna weed this out first. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my heat transfer tape, I'm gonna cut it out to the size of my decal. Okay, leaving that like that. Turn this over. This like parchment paper side, you wanna peel away from that plastic. So you're gonna peel it like this. This right here is gonna be sticky. You wanna put this on top of your decal. Then I'm just gonna take my little squeegee tool and I'm gonna squeegee it down pretty good. This is kind of like, will remind you of sticky vinyl if you've ever used like sticker vinyl. Okay, I'm gonna peel this up, turn it around. I'm gonna peel back this right here. So this is what we're going to press onto the shirt. Okay, I'm just gonna put this where, like, you know, eyeball it where I think it's gonna look good. This is always like the hardest part. I always have the hardest time trying to figure out where this chest one should go. Okay, all we're gonna do is do the same thing we did before. We're just gonna press that shirt just like we have the back. And there you have it, our finished sweatshirt. Look at how stinking cute this turned out. Oh my goodness. So we have the front decal that's right here, and then we have it on the back. Look at that. I cannot wait for Halloween. Oh my goodness, this is so freaking cute. All right, y'all, I sure hope I inspired you to create. I also sure hope I just blew your mind on the Siser's print then cut feature and how amazing it is, and I will see you later.